Welcome to the Cox Sports Report. I'm Morgan Lang with my co-host Matthew Hatfield, and we have a great selection of state semifinal games where we're going to see our first matchup with the 4A, where we're going to see the Dinwiddie Generals take on the Heritage Hurricanes. The last time these two teams saw each other was 13 years ago in 2000 when they met for the title championship game. Dinwiddie comes in undefeated. We're going to start off strong here. Going where, Matt?
Darius Williams, the workhorse running back for the Generals, going down the right sideline, 40-yard touchdown run. We saw a lot of that last week against Lake Taylor, and we're going to see more of it here as the Generals are on top early, 7-0, pitching another shutout early on as they come in with 3 straight shutouts this postseason.
I'd say that's going to be impressive as we're going to have an opportunity here for the Hurricanes as Jeremiah Boyd goes with the play-action fake, but it's intercepted by Denzel Williams. And they are having a great offensive start. Defense is having an impact here, and the Generals are off on the board.
That's what Billy Mills' team is doing, and Williams with 2 takeaways a week ago, adding 1 now. And now it's the passing game, getting it revved up with Ronald Kearney to Dakari Wilson as the Generals just keep on adding to it. Extra point is going to be up and good. 14-0 Dinwiddie on top.
Well, Cody Bell's getting warmed up there, getting 2 quick extra points on the ball. And we've got here Heritage back to pass, and it's going to be intercepted again, this time by Rashad Goodman. William and Mary Commit, number 25, is getting up the left side of the field, almost running it back all the way, but he stopped there as the offense tries to make the stop.
Dinwiddie just continuing to get turnovers with their defense. They had 6 versus the Titans already with a couple in the early going, and now that'll be Darius Williams finishing things off with that touchdown. It's the second of the day, and there's the horse as the Dinwiddie fans are raring here. 21-0. Dinwiddie just continuing to dominate the competition this postseason.
I love seeing that horse. Saw him last week, saw him again this week. And we've got Heritage going to have an opportunity here with the ball. Malik Deloach getting back, getting the pass. And it's looking like a scramble, and he's going to be able to juke up the middle. He is just juking and driving as he gets up, gets the pass off to Marcus Van Hook, and they are making headway to close the half, and the momentum could be shifting here for the Hurricanes.
Unfortunately for Heritage, they cannot score, and it'll be a field goal for Dinwiddie to add on to its lead, make it 24-0 as the cannon shoots out. 24-point lead for the Generals in the third quarter as they've now gone, look at it, 14 quarters without allowing a point.
And we're going to go up the middle this time with Goodwin. He's going to go through, and he is across the line. It is another touchdown here for the Generals. Bell will pick up the extra point, and it is all of a sudden 30-0 getting into another game.
Yeah, you see Rashad Goodwin, what a job he's done. Future William Mary fans will be proud about him there. You see the snap goes over the punter's head. Safety, 32-0. Dinwiddie continuing to pour it on. It's just a mistake-filled day for this Heritage team, which has had a great season. And there is a touchdown run up the middle to Dakari Wilson as Dinwiddie continues to roll.
And Heritage has a chance here to try to get something going as they'll have the ball moving in, trying to get out of their scoring territory here and get out of a dangerous spot. But it's a fumble, and who's going to be able to recover it? It's looking like the Generals pick it up, and that is just not what the Hurricanes need to try to change this momentum of the game. But Dinwiddie's going to continue to make their impact here with just about 10 minutes left. Rashard Hicks is going to come through, and he is going to punch it in for the touchdown. Bell will make the extra point. It is going to be 46-0, close to the end of the fourth quarter.
And the running clock is on for Dinwiddie, trying to make it 4 in a row of shutouts in the playoffs. You know, terrific year for George Massenburg's Hurricanes, though, and they're not going to go away without doing something offensively and getting on the board. The first team to do it this postseason, as you see right there, touchdown run from a yard out for Jeremiah Boyd, makes it 46-6, and Heritage will get another opportunity to get some points on the board, Morgan.
And they're going to here. It's going to be a long bomb as it goes deep. They're trying to get momentum a little bit too late, but they're getting to a Streeter who's going to run it in for the touchdown, taking it to 46-14 there. Heritage having an opportunity, but I don't know if they have enough time as the clock runs down here, and Dinwiddie will move on to play 13-1 Sharonda and Lynchburg next week. Exciting as we saw Darius Williams there getting his 2 touchdowns for 191 yards. Ronald Kearney taking 105 yards with a touchdown. Heritage trying everything they could with Deloach getting 187 yards, and Marcus Van Hook going for 125.
That sets up our 4A state championship. The number 2 seed Dinwiddie Generals at 14-0 overall, trying to capture a crown. They've come up short the last couple of times, as you mentioned, Heritage in 2000 and Phoebus in 2008, taking on the top seeded Sharonda at 13-1, Liberty University at 4:30 on December the 14th. We'll keep it right here. We'll see how Oscar Smith and Salem do. They're both 1 win away from playing in the state championship right here on Sports Report.
school basketball season is underway, and we're going to see the Hampton Roads League with our friend Matthew Hatfield checking out some coaches and players along the district.
Every year here at the Boo Williams Sportsplex in Hampton, many of the top teams and players from around the area in Hampton Roads gather for basketball action. The season hasn't started just yet, but they're getting an early start on what should be another exciting year in high school basketball in Hampton Roads. Here's what they had to say. Here at the Boo Williams Sportsplex in the Hampton Roads Fall Basketball League. And Boo, we've got a ton of great boys and girls basketball players around the area participating in this. What's the big benefit for the teams, the players, the coaches, and someone like yourself that's a basketball aficionado?
I think the biggest benefit is give a chance to the kids to play. Always good if kids can play. Second benefit is it gives the coach a chance to watch the team and see how they're going to put the teams together for the winter time. And I think the third biggest thing is then just help the kids work on their skill development.
You've been the AAU chairman and one of the go-to guys for basketball in the area for a long time now. What are you looking for when you watch these kids in a fall league setting? What are you looking for?
How hard they play. You know, I've been doing it for 31 years, Matt. Probably asked my wife, she said too long. You watch how hard they play, how they work with teamwork, how they work on their skills, how they working on things they're going to need to work on in the wintertime.
For Coach, part of this league, put it together, tell us kind of the objective you guys want to accomplish as coaches with this event.
Basically, it's a developmental league, play a lot of kids, a lot of young kids. Most teams don't have their football kids, obviously, some other fall sports kids. So chance to look at some kids that might otherwise kind of get overlooked. Yeah, coaches want to win, but it's not the main thing, but we do keep score. So that adds a degree of competitiveness. We got regular officials and we got crowd. So it mimics the real season games and see what the kids can do under fire.
When you started coaching, you didn't have things like this. How beneficial is it for the teams, the players, the coaches involved?
Well, you get a chance to see your kids. I can remember in the old days, if you wanted to see your kids, you had to go up to Fort Eustis Gym and see them play at Fort Eustis. And they played against the servicemen. But here, they're playing against kids within their region.
Tyler, you get a chance to play against a lot of great competition, something like this. What do you gain out of playing in the fall league before the season starts?
Just going against top competition, like you said, and you know, just because we got an easy conference this year, so like, when we come and play this top competition and go back to our conference, it's just easy play.
You got to be excited to play in something like this because football's the talk of the year right now, this time of season, but basketball's right around the corner. What do you try to get out of something like this? How do you get better?
Oh, just preseason, off season, you just work hard every day. You got to keep working hard, just like that.
Coach Brown, tell us about this fall league. What made you get involved with it, and what do the kids get out of it?
Actually, it's my first time. I couldn't turn Ed and Coach Moore down. So Coach Moore, Ed, and Coach K twisted my arm to get me to participate with this. But the best thing that happened thus far, a lot of girls don't normally get in the gym in the fall, and this is a great opportunity for them. So it's been, for my school at Heritage, it's a great learning experience. We actually get our kids out on the floor. I know they're tired of seeing me. So it's good that they get to see some other kids, other teams as well.
What do you try to gain from this when you go head-to-head with some of these teams and players?
How to play the game right, learn what to do in clutch moments, just being aware of everything while you're on the court and even while you're off the court. So it's just actually helping me out with just like experience everything. I like what a college can be like because you're playing like 6A teams and 5A teams, and we're just coming out here competing. So every night, so we get to learn something.
So there you have it from the Hampton Roads Fall Basketball League at the Boo Williams Sportsplex. You want to keep it right here tuned to Cox Sports all season long for some exciting basketball action. I'm Matthew Hatfield.
Thanks, Matt. We're going to change gears and head back to football, where we're going to see the LC Bird Skyhawks, who are undefeated, take on the Salem Sun Devils, who are 11-2. They are going to be for the state championship. Matt, what's going to happen here?
Winner goes to it. This is a big one right here as Robert Jackson's Sun Devils coming off those three quality playoff wins, including Green Run last week, and they're the underdog in this game in a lot of people's eyes, but they're not afraid at all as Jarrell Lightbody goes over the middle to Jaquan Davis for a huge completion down the field into LC Bird territory, and the Sun Devils looking to strike first, but it's a fumble, and Bird's got it.
Good pickup there by Jalen Lassiter, the senior linebacker, getting the fumble recovery. Nice for the Skyhawks, going to be able to get an opportunity. LC Bird here up the right side with Earl Hughes. He is somebody that is going to have an impact all game, all night. And LC Bird's back to throw, but we've got a big hit there by Salem defense, and that is quite an impressive way to start this game.
No question about Trevon Hill, Mikkel Skeeter, and company with some big hits. And how about that LC Bird defense, too, with Casey Wallace? There's a reason why they're trying to win its second straight state championship. Tough running game and some big hitters on defense, and there's one of them right there, the freshman middle linebacker, Rayshard Ashby. Take another look at it.
Woo, and for a freshman, for him to be able to read that attack, be able to get through, that is very impressive, and he takes a big hit. Awesome to be able to see that replay. And we're into the third quarter, which is exciting here as we see Terrence Irvin trying to get by, and it's sacked again by James Stevens. You know, the Skyhawks were held scoreless for the first half for the first time this season. Nice to see that Salem defense having a pack. And they're back to throw here, and it's an incomplete pass. A little sloppy going into this one here.
Salem will get on the board first, though surprising to many, including the folks there at Bird, as Tyler McKee boots through a 25-yard field goal. And as you said, Morgan, an excellent job by Coach Robert Jackson and defensive coordinator Vincent Pugh's defense. LC Bird trying to counter. It's an interception, and Salem has it in business with DJ Davis on the pick.
Ooh, that's Salem defense. Everyone's playing this way, and we've got Salem here with back to throw. Lightbody trying to make something happen. It just cannot hold on to it, as that is an incomplete pass. But we're going to have an opportunity here with a field goal, and it is up, but it is blocked by who? We're going with Ashby again. That freshman, he's on top of it, making plays every aspect that he can possibly able.
Enormous special teams play by David Bedwell Skyhawks. You see Ashby blocking it to keep the score 3-0 instead of letting Salem increase it 6-0. That means Bird can tie it with a field goal or win it with a touchdown. They're going to their main man, Earl Hughes, closing on 3,000 yards rushing on the season. He's going to fight for the tough yardage as Bird gets in the red zone.
And Bird is in it, and they're going to have a chance. They're breaking the huddle, getting into that line of scrimmage. This could be the game as they line up to see if they can get this touchdown and see if the Skyhawks can take the lead. Will they be able to? And it's looking good. They're going to Hughes as he breaks up, and he punches it in, and they do. They're able to get onto the board, making it 6-3. Will the kick be good? I think it will be, and it is 7-3, as this is an exciting change of events late in the game, and also the Skyhawks might have an opportunity here to defeat the Sun Devils.
Salem has a chance, though, down by 4 with 3 minutes to go. Just how you like to draw it up if you're Salem. Coach Robert Jackson pass midfield. Jarrell Lightbody's pass is intercepted, though, by junior corner Dawan Dorsey. And the Skyhawks can sense it and celebrate. They're now 1 win away from repeating as state champions as they break the hearts of the Salem Sun Devils with a wonderful season, 11-3 overall. LC Bird will take this one as the time ticks down 7-3 over Salem. You see Hughes with 196 yards rushing, a touchdown. Terrence Irvin held to 23 yards passing for Salem in defeat. Jarrell Lightbody with 79 yards passing, only 94 yards of offense for the Sun Devils in the loss.
And we're going to see the 5A state championship game with LC Bird, who's now undefeated, taking on 13-1 Briar Woods. That'll be at the University of Virginia next Saturday at 12:07 p.m.
They can check it out here live on Cox 11. They can also see the 6A state championship live right here on Cox. And will Oscar Smith be in that game? They're trying to win their 3rd state championship since 2008, but they got to get past Colonial Forge first, Morgan, in the state semifinals, the 6A South Championship, as it is referred to regionally, taking on a Colonial Forge team that upset Ocean Lakes last week.
Ooh, and that's big. Colonial Forge is coming in 10-3. Oscar Smith undefeated, and you can see why, as they've got this workhorse of Sean McLeese going up the middle. He seems to be involved with every play on the next 3, and we'll see McLeese going again up the left side this time as he's breaking through. Look at that speed and that tenacity as he is just going straight up and wet. Works once, works twice. Who are we going to this time? We'll take it to McLeese the 3rd time, and this time he will get in for the touchdown, putting them on the board early, 6-0 for the Tigers.
All 12 runs by McLeese for 85 yards, and that offensive line was blowing people off the ball. McLeese running well once he gets in the open field. A special teams blunder here for Oscar Smith as the snap goes over Josh Sweat's head, and it is recovered by Connor Riddle on the punt attempt, giving Colonial Forge a chance to get on the board in the red zone.
And Colonial Forge is excited here. Devontae Beckett, the sophomore linebacker, gets the sack. How exciting there for that defense. But unfortunately, Colonial Forge trying to get something going, but it is tipped and then deflected, intercepted. Andrew Brown caught by Chris White, and it's going to be going the other way.
You see Brown, that defensive line is always swimming. Morgan, you see Brown getting his hands up to knock it in the air. Chris White, his D lineman teammate, getting it, and that defensive line has been dominating all year long. You better take advantage of those opportunities against Oscar Smith when you get a chance, or they will make you pay. And here's Jalen Bradshaw, the Virginia Tech commit, on the tunnel screen, making 3 or 4 guys miss as he moves the chains into the 40-yard line.
Is it just me, or these guys seem extremely tall? It is incredible. As we've got Kamati Halsey here going, but he's intercepted, and he'll make it for the 14 yards. Nice to see this going. The field goal here by Brad Davis, 20-yarder, and it is good, and it is now 10-0 for the Tigers, ending the second quarter.
Big to get that field goal by Brad Davis to give them a 2-possession lead as the band is into it, the cheerleaders into it. Oscar Smith trying to go on to the University of Virginia in Charlottesville to play the winner of Centerville Westfield in the state final. And Colonial Forge, though, looking to mount a rally here. Now to be Gary Jennings, brought down on the sack there by Josh Sweat. That's his 22nd sack of the season for the junior star, tying Kenai Anderson's school record.
Colonial Forge was held to 1 yard in the first half with no first downs. You can see why this Tigers defense is just unstoppable, trying to get something going. They're stuffed on the run here. They're going to be forced to punt, and it's just not moving the way that they want for the Eagles.
Not today, and then they're getting flagged for some penalties here, which is making things worse for Colonial Forge, down by 10 to start the fourth quarter. Oscar Smith will punt it away to Colonial Forge, and this one will be inside the 5-yard line, down to the 2, as now the special teams unit starting to sharpen up for Oscar Smith, and they get all 3 faces going. Look out.
They do, and Colonial Forge is going to have an opportunity in dangerous territory. Oh, and it's fumbled into the end zone, recovered by Kishon Cuffey. Very exciting there. Unfortunate for the Eagles, but the Tigers just seem to be everywhere and not giving the Eagles a chance to breathe.
That defense is really suffocating, and now Colonial Forge down 17, having to throw, abandoning the running game, and it'll be intercepted by senior Monty Finner. 2-way send up for the Tigers. He's had a wonderful season.
He absolutely has. Had an offer this week with Norfolk State. Nice opportunity to possibly stay local. You're seeing the fans getting excited. Oscar Smith will move on as they shut out Colonial Forge 17-0. Deshaun McLeese going for 200 yards with a touchdown. Sean Mitchell getting in there with some yardage. And we've got Colonial Forge doing everything they could, with Isuagu getting 8 tackles and trying to make an impact there for Colonial Forge.
So that means in the 6A state championship, it'll be undefeated teams going at it. Oscar Smith and Centerville. University of Virginia is the place to be at 4:07 December the 14th. Right here live, you can watch it on Cox Channel 11. Our other state championship games, Morgan, we've got some good ones.
We've got James Monroe taking Northside, and we've got in 2A state championship, Giles 14-0 going with Brunswick, who is 12-2.
And in the 1A state championship at Salem Field, it'll be number 2 seed Alta Vista at 13-1, taking on top seeded Essex, also at 13-1 overall. Well, you don't want to go anywhere, because coming up next, it'll be an interview with VirginiaPrepscom state football editor Rod Johnson right here on Sports Report.
Welcome back to the Cox Sports Report. I'm Morgan Lang with Matthew Hatfield, and we have an exciting last segment, and we have a visitor from VirginiaPrepscom. We're here with Rod Johnson. Rod, welcome to the show. We're delighted to have you.
Thanks, Morgan. Always a pleasure to be here.
Great. Well, we're going to kick off with some questions. Taking a look at this past season, how do you feel are some major surprise teams, players, upsets? What are your thoughts on the season?
I thought one of the best stories of the year was the Heritage Hurricanes making the state Final Four. It really shows that program is kind of getting back up to a contender level where they were back in the early 2000s when they won the state championship. The Green Run Stallions under Jeff McGowan have really come along, look to be a power program here in the next coming couple of seasons. On a negative side, I think that most people expected Phoebus to still be playing, maybe expected Lake Taylor, who won the state championship last year, to still be playing, as well as the Phoebus Phantoms, who were home for December for the first time in maybe a decade. So a little bit surprising there, but stay with more of the positives. Heritage and Green Run are really the 2 stories that I thought were the best here in the 757.
Great.
And as you know, Rod, every year, covering the whole state, there's a numerous amount of recruits that go on to play college football on Saturdays here, especially from the Tidewater area. Who are the recruits at the next level we should keep an eye out for?
Well, I think, again, you start in this area. Usually this is where the best players are. I'd begin with Andrew Brown, who was a Gatorade State Player of the Year, going to the University of Virginia. He'll be joined by Quinn Blanding, who is ranked the #1 safety in the nation. So I think those two together can really kind of change the culture up there in Charlottesville. And then, of course, you got to go look at Woodbridge defensive end Deshaun Hand, the #1 rated player in the nation, committing to Alabama. And when you get the, probably the best program in the country with the best player in the country, you got to figure there's going to be big things coming from him.
We only have one team playing in the state championship this year. Of course, last year we had 2 with Ocean Lakes and Lake Taylor. That team will be Oscar Smith. We'll get to their game in a moment. But no Lafayette, no Ocean Lakes, no Phoebus, no Lake Taylor. Is it a case of this year it was stronger outside of Tidewater, perhaps, around the whole state? Or was the Tidewater area so good competition-wise they just ran into some great teams?
I think it's a little bit of both. Probably that the competition around the state is getting a little bit thicker. I think that you got the new playoff system in place, and some guys maybe were trying to figure out how to handle that. I know that Ocean Lakes fell to a really good Colonial Forge team that had played an extremely strong schedule. One of the things about the new playoff system is that teams don't have to worry so much about not losing in the regular season because you're pretty much going to make the playoffs if you're a good team. It allows teams to schedule a little bit harder and be a little bit more prepared for the playoffs, and I think we saw that bear out a little bit.
And speaking of that, as we're looking ahead, we've got Oscar Smith playing Centerville next Saturday. What's your thoughts on the game breakdown?
Well, these two teams played each other 2 years ago in the state championship, and Oscar Smith kind of ran away from them athletically. I think that Centerville has closed that gap a little, but probably not enough. Oscar Smith just has that kind of it factor about them. They can run the ball extremely well, as they've shown the past couple of games. They've always known for their aerial attack. So I would suspect that the Oscar Smith offense is going to put up a lot of points. Conversely, they've got the best defense in the state, led by Andrew Brown, the Gatorade Player of the Year. So it's going to be very difficult for Centerville to kind of match them scoring-wise. I would figure Oscar Smith to win pretty handily in this one.
Wow, that's pretty big stuff there for the Chesapeake fans and Oscar Smith alums that are out there going to that game. And as we look ahead to next season, I know it's got a state championship this coming Saturday, and you're focused on all those games, 6A through 1A, Rod. But looking ahead to next season, Oscar Smith returns a lot. Are they the team to beat, and who else could be in the mix?
Yeah, I think we'd look at, again, Ocean Lakes and Oscar Smith. Both of them have a lot of talent coming back, starting with Oscar Smith. Right next to Andrew Brown is a defensive end named Josh Sweat, who's going to be ranked one of the top 20, 50 players in the country. Ocean Lakes has got 2 top stars coming back, and Giovanni Simmons and Jason Lewis. Both will be nationally ranked, nationally recruited. And then again, Oscar Smith has a running back named Deshaun McLeese, a junior, who's already holds a handful of offers. So I think we start with those 2 teams. Lake Taylor is always going to be a good program. They have been for the last 20 years. I would expect Phoebus to bounce back a little bit just because that's not a program that takes losing very lightly. So I would start with those 4 and maybe see some teams coming up. Heritage should still be good. Western Branch has got a nice program going. Salem is a team that I really look for good things for. They're young this year and did very well.
So we'll get about maybe 1 or 2 teams again in the state championship next year, you would assume.
Yeah, I would feel pretty good about it next year. This area is just so talent-rich that it's going to be hard to kind of shut this, the people in the Tidewater area out of a state championship game anytime soon.
Well, always a pleasure. That is Rod Johnson, the state football editor of VirginiaPrepscom, joining us. And again, you can see all the state championship games here, both of them in 6A and 5A, right here this Saturday on Cox Channel 11. For our guest, Rod Johnson of VirginiaPrepscom, my co-host, Morgan Lang, I am Matthew Hatfield. We thank all the hardworking men and women behind the scenes who have put in their blood, sweat, and tears throughout the season, and we'll see you next time right here on Sports Report.